Hey, what's going on YouTube family? This is your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to another unboxing. Today I'm going to unbox for you the new Moto Z3. Now, I'm very hyped and pumped about this particular device. It was just released today, August 16th, 2018. The only drawback is it is a Verizon exclusive. And so if you want to get your hands on the Moto Z3 here, you're going to have to run down to your local Verizon store, and that's where you can pick it up. It's not being sold unlocked, not at the moment. So as I just mentioned, if you want this device, Verizon is the place to go and get it. Now, if you want something very comparable, something pretty much identical to this as far as the build and the exterior is concerned, then there's also the Moto Z3 Play, which is being sold unlocked. And you can run down to your local Best Buy. You can get on Amazon.com, B&H Photo. I believe there's a couple of other sites that you can order the Moto Z3 Play from. Okay, but again, if you want the Moto Z3, which is the premium of the two, then you're going to have to run down to your local Verizon store. It is sold as a Verizon exclusive at the moment. All right, and it may stay that way. It may stay that way. It may not be sold unlocked at all. All right, so definitely be mindful of that. Now, there is a promotion going on right now that Verizon is holding. If you switch from another carrier and you want to get your hands on this device, depending on the phone that you have for trade-in, you can get up to $300 off of this device. Now, be mindful. This phone is only 480 bucks. And so if you're able to make a switch from whatever carrier you're from to Verizon and you have a device that you can trade in that is worth knocking off 300 bucks from this phone, then that means that you're getting the Moto Z3 for 180 bucks. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute steal. I mean, it's a steal already because of the fact that it's only 480 bucks. Okay, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that a little later on in the video. So, real quick, I'm gonna just read off, talk about a lot of the specs, give you guys an idea of what we're dealing with here. One of the most important specs being the price. I just revealed that. And then stay tuned after I name off the specs because I've got a couple of thoughts about a little bit of controversy that seems to be floating around this particular device. I know that I have a tendency to be long-winded, and so if you guys just want to fast forward straight to the unboxing portion, then definitely do that. But you guys know me, man. I gotta say what I got to say. All right. So check it. Most important spec, price 480. All right. We've got as far as the display, we've got a 6-inch 16 by 9 aspect. It's finally good to see Motorola catching up with the times. Welcome to the party, Motorola. I know that a lot of their phones that have been released in 2018 have all had the Snapdragon. I'm sorry, they've all had the 18 by 9 aspect ratio, but none that looks any slicker than this or the Moto Z3 Play. I think that these phones, they look really slick. The way they look. There's no notch involved. I mean, so none of that notch activity there. And so if you're not really a big fan of the notch, that may be another reason why you want to go with either the Moto Z3 Play or the Moto Z3 here, okay? So we've got a 6-inch Full HD Plus 2160 by 1080p Super AMOLED display, okay? We've got a pixel density of 402. We've got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the back of the device, and then on the front we've got 2.5D glass on the front. So we've got two types of glass on the front and back. Nonetheless, it is glass on the front and back, so you definitely want to protect your investment. Now, we've got the Snapdragon 835 processor. You heard me right. 35, not the 45. And that's what I want to speak about a little later in the video, because that's where some of the controversy is swirling around, because some people are like, well, how can this be considered a flagship in 2018, but yet it's got last year's processor in it? I'm going to touch on that. Snapdragon 835 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage that can be expanded up to 2 terabytes. All right. Now, we've got an Adreno 540 GPU. This phone is 156 grams, and so it is definitely a lightweight device, very thin, and you'll see that when I take it out of the box. On the back of the device, we've got a dual camera system. We've got a 12 megapixel primary sensor, and we've got a 12 megapixel monochrome sensor, which is dope. I mean, so you'll be able to take a lot of those clean, crisp, black and white photos if that's something that you're into. And then we've got all the bells and whistles with the camera, portrait mode, pro mode, a bunch of different filters. We'll go over that as the phone unboxed, we'll take a peek around in the camera app and look at all those features and functions. 3,000 milliamp hour non-removable battery, Type-C connector with a 15-watt wall adapter for fast charging. And so my understanding is that this phone charges extremely quickly. So from 0 to 100, it's going to run you maybe 40-45 minutes, and you're going to be fully topped up just like that. Now, we do have wireless charging enabled on this device, but it's not key or Qi enabled. It's not one of those wireless chargings where you can stick it on your Samsung fast wireless charger or take it to your local McDonald's or Starbucks where they have the wireless chargers and set your device down and charge the device. It is charged wirelessly through the Moto mods. So if you have one of the battery pack Moto mods, then you just slap that to the back of the device. There's your wireless charging. Okay, so don't get it confused into thinking that you can put this phone down on a wireless charger and charge it. Now, that would be nice if you did have that capability, but the wireless charging comes solely off of the Moto mods. Okay, and there's a few different battery packs that you can purchase for this particular device that will provide you with wireless charging capability. So be sure to look into that as well. Okay. Some other notable features, we do have NFC present. We've got Bluetooth 5.0. We are running Snapdragon, what is it? Android 8.1 fresh out of the box. Just the topic of the Snapdragon 835 versus the 45 is just really on my mind. Now, another thing that is very intriguing about this particular device, it is the first 5G enabled device at the moment, kind of, sort of, okay? It's 5G compatible through a 5G Moto mod that's going to be available in early 2019. I believe either January or February is when that Moto mod is going to begin to go on sale. And that's supposed to be around the time frame that these carriers are supposed to be able to start to utilize the 5G function, which my understanding is that it's going to be, speeds, whether it be downloading, uploading, whatever, browsing, the internet, speeds up to 10 times faster than what we see right now. Okay, under a 4G connection, that's pretty significant. And to think that this device is going to be one of the first to be able to make that connection just by clicking on a Moto mod, that's some pretty innovative technology right there. And that's one of the main things that has me excited about this particular device. Now, the controversy that is swirling around this particular device. Let me ask you guys this: is this phone any less of a flagship because it has the Snapdragon 835 as opposed to the Snapdragon 845? Now, we all know that the Snapdragon 845 is the processor of 2018. Okay, what I have a problem with is some people feeling as though, I feel like it's just total disrespect. I feel like it was a good move to put the Snapdragon 835 in this particular device because that's one of the main things that keeps the cost down. Okay, $480 for everything that I just named off is absolutely insane in my personal opinion. Okay, you got mid-range devices that cost $500. You know what I mean? But then we also have some flagship killing devices. Devices like OnePlus, the OnePlus 6, or even the Asus Zenfone 5 Z, $500, and you've got an 845 in both of those devices. So, why did Motorola decide to go with the 835? I don't know, but I can't necessarily say that it is a bad move. Why? Because the Snapdragon 835 is a tried and true processor. And let's get this clear, ladies and gentlemen, or let me ask you this. Before the 845 existed, what was the top dog processor? It was the Snapdragon 835. You know what I mean? And so, it was handling things just as smoothly and crisp, as the 845. Now, I understand the 845 is more powerful. It's optimized for a little bit better battery performance, and things of that nature. But I mean, as far as like multitasking, heavy gaming, all that type of thing, you're going to be able to do all those things on the Snapdragon 835 as you would be able to do them on the Snapdragon 845. So, I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTubers, and a lot of the heavy hitter YouTubers that attended the Moto Z3 presentation, after the presentation, they all kind of, I was listening to their feedback, and they all were kind of saying things like, oh, well, because of the fact that it's got last year's processor in it, the phone's going to be a flop, it's a bust, it's going to go by the wayside quick, it's not worth it, it's not this, it's not that. And I just think that that's kind of, it's like, you just came out of a presentation. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have the phone in your hand and rocking with it for days in and out, really testing and putting it through its paces just to see how it performs. I mean, we've got a 2.35 gigahertz octa-core CPU that's backing that Snapdragon 835 processor. So, the phone is going to be a performance beast. And a lot of these Motorola devices that I've had, whether it be the premium Moto Z or the Moto Z Play, they all performed buttery smooth. You know what I mean? So to say that the phone is just going to be, a complete flop just because it has the 835 processor in it versus the 845, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think that this phone is definitely going to be a hit. If you like the Moto Mod enhancement, definitely you want to get your hands on this device because this is just another device that you'll be able to utilize those things on to enhance your experience. And yeah, that's my take on it. So, without further ado, man, let's crack this box, man. Enough talking. You know what I'm saying? Let's crack this box. All right, all right. All right, so here we go, y'all. We're getting ready to crack this thing out the box real quick. Now, just real quick, of course, I've got my spec sheet written down right here and a couple of details that I left out really quickly that I think you guys should know. This phone it's 156 grams. So it's a very thin device, and you'll see that once I take it out of the box here. We've got a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, and so that's another thing that people are kind of raising an eyebrow. But my LG G7 over here, it also has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. I have no problem with the battery and having all day battery life. The good thing about the Moto Z3 here is it can wirelessly charge through a Moto Mod. So if you're exercising good battery technique, and optimizing your own battery by monitoring your usage and making sure that things are turned off that should be turned off if you're not using them, like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or GPS or auto sync. Or if you are just using those things, just using the battery optimization options that come on the device, then you shouldn't have a problem. But if you do run into an issue, then you can just pick yourself up a Moto Mod and just clip it to the back of it, and you've got wireless charging right there, at your fingertips. So that's another good thing about having these mods is even if a phone is wireless charge compatible, well, what if you don't have your wireless charger with you? Or what if you're not somewhere where they have little key enabled little pads for you to sit your phone down and charge? You're going to be SOL. But if you got a Moto Mod, then you can just slap that to the back of the device and man, there you go. So that's a really convenient feature just to have with you on the go. A lot of people don't walk around with power bricks. Some people find them to be inconvenient because it's just another thing you got to carry around, another accessory. Me personally, I would rather have a mod, than a brick, but that's just me. Android 8.1 Oreo fresh out of the box here. My understanding is that this phone will get updated to Android Pie, but we have no idea when exactly that's going to be. I read a report earlier that some of the new Sony Xperia devices are going to start to get Android Pie as early as November. So it would be nice, if we could get Android Pie implemented and downloaded here on the Moto Z3. Also considering that the Moto Z lines, they're they aside from the Moto features and things that come along, it's pretty much a stock Android experience. So I kind of feel like phones that are kind of doing more so the stock Android thing, those phones should be some of the first to get the new update, but we'll have to wait and see. So the presentation. This is typical Motorola stuff, especially for the Moto Z line. You got the red box, and those that know me, hey, red is my favorite color, always has been, always will be. No gang affiliation, no, I don't claim blood, but if I was banging because of the fact that red is my favorite color, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'd have to roll with them bloods, yo. You know what I mean? But yeah. So red and black presentation. All right, Motorola, you can see here, Moto Z3 on the sides, compatible with mods. And I like this little design, how they got the little stripes there. It's pretty fancy. On the bottom here, you just got your IEMI information, serial number, all that. To the right of the box, you've got the Moto Z3. Top of the box, you've got nothing. And then on the back of the box, you got Motorola branding. Got some little specs and a bunch of other stuff here. Barcode, stuff I can't read because I don't want to strain my eyes to. But yeah, so that's what the box looks like, a bumpy cam. And we got the unboxing knife here. So let's go ahead and cut this plastic. I'll try to do this without cutting my finger and ending in the department which I work, which is the ER. Shout out to my ER team. Those of y'all that support me and watch these videos, much love. I appreciate it. All right. And it looks as though we got another one here. So now, this particular time, I'm doing the conventional unboxing. Now, typically when I do my unboxings, I already cracked, because I'm so impatient, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes, man, I get a phone and I just want to crack it out the box. And there's been times where I've waited to do the unboxing until I had time, and I'm just so busy sometimes I just couldn't get around to it, and it was killing me. So what I started doing was just taking the phone out the box and setting it up, and then just putting everything back in the box and doing the unboxing that way. But then some of you guys, my subscribers, hit me up with some feedback and was like, man, that ain't really a true, genuine unboxing, dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we want to see, the phone fresh, brand new out the box. We don't want to see it already set up and all that. And, I feel that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, here's me, trying to accommodate you guys. You know what I'm saying? That has something to say about my unbox antics. My unbox techniques, my unbox etiquette. You know what I'm talking about? So here we go, the true conventional unboxing. Okay, you see, it wasn't even cracked out the plastic tape. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Take the little sleeve off. Hello, Moto. Okay, what's happening? And here is the Moto Z3. Yeah, it is a little lightweight. Okay. Ceramic black is the only color that you can get this in, which is what this color is. And you know me, y'all, I'm not even tripping because it's all black. Everything, no racist. You know what I mean? All right, so let's crack this open here. And this is just a bunch of our literature. You see we got the SIM ejection tool right there to pop our SIM card in. And I believe since this is the Verizon variant of this device, that the SIM card has already been put into the phone. All right, would have been nice to get a case. So here's our 15-watt fast charger, wall adapter. And then here is our Type-C, USB to Type-C. You can see a little Type-C prong right there. I'll mess with all that here in a little bit. And of course, the phone does not have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and so we have a Type-C to 3.5 dongle that is included. And I am glad that they include that, because some companies that have decided against the headphone jack don't include that, and they make it a separate accessory that you have to go and purchase. And I am not particularly a fan of that. All right, so let's get to the phone here. Okay, no, that's okay. Let's get this plastic off here. There we go. Boom. And we got plastic on the back. No, I don't believe so. Wow, God, this is beautiful. Look at this. That's ceramic black. I mean, it just pops out at you. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the phone on, see if we got some juice. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, yes, I forgot. So the fingerprint sensor. Oh, that is dope. So the fingerprint sensor is right here on the side. It's no longer on the bottom of the device. It's not on the back of the device. But yeah, as you can see, when I turn on the phone, you're going to see that beautiful 6-inch display. You can kind of see just the screen cutout. It's 6 inches, corner to corner. Okay. On the front of the device, we've got the little Motorola sign right there. We've got 2 microphones here, 2 noise canceling mics on the bottom of the device. You can see those 2 little dots right there in the glare. Here is our single front-facing loudspeaker, so we don't have dual speakers on this particular setup. But you already know, if you want to enhance your sound from this device, you got like 3 different Moto Mod audio options. You've got a Motorola speaker that you can buy, and then there's 2 different JBL speakers that you can buy, and they sound really good actually. So you probably couldn't go wrong with having one of those speaker mods as well if you want to listen to some cuts on your phone. But nonetheless, we do not have dual speakers on this particular device. So here is the loudspeaker. Here is our front-facing 8 megapixel sensor, and then here's a little LED light that's right here to the left of the ear speaker. You can barely see it, but I can see it in the glare from the light. I think you guys can see that right there. Now, to the right of the device, the only thing that we've got the right-sided fingerprint sensor. So it is on the side of the device, and it's one of those things where you just hit it with your thumb. I mean, if you think of how we hold the devices, this is where our hands are typically placed, and so I think it's convenient to have it right there. I mean, a lot of people would prefer for it to be on the front, but I mean, if you got small hands, like I do, you may have to kind of wedge your hand down a little bit just to reach it with your thumb. Well, when I'm holding the device, all I got to do is just boom and open it up. So let's hope that it works fast. I mean, I'll demonstrate that later in the video. And then we have the volume rocker up and down that is right above that fingerprint sensor on the right side. Now, to the top of the device, we've got what appears to be another noise canceling microphone right here. And then we've got the SIM tray also at the top, which is different. I know that on the previous models, the SIM tray, if I can recall, they were on the sides. Now, on the left side of the device, we've got a little antenna line right there. And then here is our power button. And there's some rigidity there. I mean, so it's easily distinguishable. That this is the power button. The volume rockers are nice and smooth. The power button, it's got that rigidity there. I mean, so you should be able to easily tell the difference as to what you're pressing if you're not looking. All right, now on the bottom of the device, we've got nothing but an antenna line right here, and then here we've got our Type-C port here for charging. Back of the device, we've got another little noise canceling mic right there. You can see that little dot. Here are the Moto Mod prongs, and so when you slap on a Moto Mod, all the information is transferred through these little prongs right here. Okay, Verizon branding there, Motorola branding right there, and then here's our rear-facing dual 12 megapixel sensor. As I mentioned, one of them is a 12 megapixel primary lens, and then the other is a 12 megapixel monochrome lens. All right, with our dual tone LED flash, laser autofocus, and a slew of other features that this camera features. Now let's go ahead and power on the device. Wow, very bright, vibrant colors here. Hello, Moto. All right. And of course, Verizon has to go through its little spiel, but seemed like a pretty fast boot up there. Okay, so hi there, English. Gonna go ahead and hit start, phone activation. And so, yeah, I haven't turned the phone on at all, so it has to go through the whole activation process. So I'm gonna pause the video a little bit just to kind of get through some of this stuff here, and then I'll get it to the home screen, and I'll be right back with you. All right, hang tight. All right, y'all, so I'm in the middle of the setup, but I really wanted you guys to see, with this fingerprint sensor being on the side, if it's just as easy as it is on any other device that has a pretty fast fingerprint sensor. So let's go ahead and find out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit setup, and let's see. Oh, I got to set up a pin first. Okay. All right, so here we go. So you see it's directing me. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to use my thumb. Wow. Okay, wasn't too bad. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, and then once I get the phone to the home screen, we'll definitely test out the speed of this fingerprint sensor. All right, hang tight. Let me finish the setup here. All right, y'all, so we're back in. So the setup is complete, and I haven't downloaded not one of my applications. Obviously, a lot of the apps that came preloaded on the device, they're having some updates take place right now. And so if I'm moving around with the phone and things seem a little choppy, it's probably because there's things downloading in the background, but I don't really anticipate that happening. So this is the new Moto Z3. beautiful Super AMOLED display. Colors, I mean, they just pop right out. You I mean that red, it's really red. Blacks are extremely black. White is very white. I mean, colors are very nice and vibrant, as you would expect on a Super AMOLED panel. You know, maybe not to the extent of a Samsung device, but pretty darn close. I mean, this screen looks very good, and it's a really good look. The phone is now sporting that new 18:9 aspect ratio, and so, like I said, it's 79% screen to body ratio. That definitely pays dividends. You've got more screen, things appear to be a little bigger, you know, so, I mean, the phone does get plenty bright as well. I'm not sure the exact amount of nits that it tops out at, but I know that this phone, I had to tone the phone down just in order for the camera to be able to adjust to the brightness so that you guys could see what I'm doing. And it was only at 50%. It was halfway, so I scaled it down to like 30. So you shouldn't have any issues with viewing angles or anything on this particular device. Now, as far as performance, again, Snapdragon 835 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage that can be expanded up to 2 terabytes. As you can see, just scrolling through the device is just an absolute breeze. When you swipe up, these are all your preloaded applications. Like I said, most of it is just a clean stock Android feel for the most part. Of course, you've got some bloatware because it is the Verizon version. So you do have Verizon apps on here, and this is all that, if I can get the camera to focus, what comes on there. And you've got Cloud, My Verizon, Security and Privacy, Voicemail, Hum, and Caller Name ID. And so that comes in its own little folder there. But aside from that, I mean, you've got AccuWeather. Wow, there is a lot of bloatware on here. Bank of America, like, I don't even bank there, so I don't even know why that would be preloaded on there. Let's see, I did read something that Spotify just recently signed a contract with Verizon, and so I believe that Spotify is going to be the primary music application that's going to be preloaded on a lot of the devices with Verizon. So I don't see Spotify here. It's definitely not preloaded on here, I don't think. No, it's not. But that's my main music source, so it's just a matter of downloading the app and then I'll get all my music there. So we do have some a pretty significant amount of, not too much bloatware, but the fact that it is a carrier brand. You're going to have the Verizon bloatware on there, and then, like I said, I mean, we've got other applications: Bank of America, Calm. I don't know what Calm is. Let's see. eBay is preloaded. Empire, Facebook, Final Fantasy X, Groupon, Hum. Let's see what else. That's all Google stuff. Yelp, and then YMO. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, so, you know, those things I'm probably going to get off of here because they're definitely taking up space. Probably not a lot of space, but still, I don't tend to keep things on my device that I don't use. So if we pop down into the notification shade, you can see this is where the notifications live. Again, this is Android 8.1 Oreo. I mean, so a lot of this stuff should be extremely familiar. If you want to access all of your quick toggles, then you just swipe down a second time, and this is where a lot of those things live. And like I said, I mean, doing your own battery optimizations, a lot of these things come default. They come on by default, and so location, like, I don't need location on right now, so yes, let's close that. I don't need Bluetooth on right now. My auto sync is already turned off. When I set up my email, I made sure that I set that to manual, and to never notify me when emails come in, because I can check them manually, just download them, you know, when I feel I'm looking for something. So the only thing that I'm connected to right now is my Wi-Fi network. And so if we pop into settings here, and then this is that nice consolidated Android Oreo list, which I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with as well. You can see, system update, uploaded to Android 8.1.0. And so let's just pop into that real quick. Check for system updates. Let's just see your device is up to date. Okay, done. Just make sure that everything is good there. System. Okay. And so gestures, I'm sure you guys are familiar with a lot of the Moto gestures. You got the chop chop, twist twist the phone a couple times. You can see that opens up the camera. Allow camera to access this device's location. Nope, I don't need my location accessed. Um, and so again, first time opening up the camera, so there's a little bit of a tutorial there. Go ahead and hit OK. And so we'll go back into that a little bit later in the video, but just wanted to demonstrate that a lot of those things are still present here. So when you twist the phone, then that's how you get to your camera. Okay, and then you've got the chop chop feature. That's how you turn on your flashlight, and so you can see the little LED on the back is on, and then to turn it off, chop chop, and then you turn that off. So I mean, those are some pretty convenient features to have there if you just want to access the flashlight or the camera really quickly. That's technology that's been implemented on a lot of other Moto devices, which is how I remembered how to do that. But then if we pop back into settings, and you can see we've just got sound storage, security and location, users and accounts, accessibility, Google system, network and internet, connected devices, apps and notifications, battery. Okay, let's see. So storage, let's go to storage. Okay. So we can see here 16.33 gigabytes have been used out of 64 gigs. I mean, so that's the bloatware that comes preloaded on the device. It's taking up 16.33 gigs. Like I said, I mean, some of those things I'm going to go and erase because I'm not going to use those things ever in my life. So that's going to free up a little bit more storage. But then again, it's going to get absorbed when I, download all my apps that I typically rock with on a daily basis. So, but just to kind of give you guys an idea of what to expect, when you take this phone out of the box and set it up for the first time. Okay. So again, let's go back to the camera really quickly. And as you can see, here is the photo mode, video mode, and then to the left of that here are our photo modes, and then we have video modes. And so photo modes, we've got portrait, cutout, true B&W, black and white, spot color, cinematograph, panorama, text scanner, face filters. And then for video modes, we've got slow motion, time lapse, true black and white, YouTube live. Oh, dope. They got YouTube live on here. Okay, that's cool. And then we also have face features. Okay, then if we pop into the camera settings for the rear camera, you can see that the photo size is by default at 4.3, video size full HD at 1080. For the video size or the photo size, you can change that to 16 by 9, 18 by 9, 4.3, or 16 by 9. So I'm just going to leave that as is. For the video sizes, you can see we do have true 4K, Ultra HD, Full HD 1080p, Full HD 1080p with 30 frames per second, HD 720, and VGA 480 at 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to leave it on the default setting as is. And then the selfie camera, you can see that's that 8 megapixel sensor. We've got the photo size at 4.3. That can also be changed to 16 or 18 by 9. I'm going to leave that as is. Also, for video size, it's set by standard Full HD 1080p. That can be changed to HD 720 and VGA 480 at 360 frames per second. We have selfie photo mirror, storage, save location. Once you pop in an SD card, then you'll have the ability to toggle between whether you want photos or videos to save to the device or save to the card. Capture settings, we do have quick capture, tap anywhere to capture on the phone, shutter sound, assistive grid, and then you've got help, play tutorial, and open source licensing. Do have a nice bit of things to customize and tweak. As you can see here, we've got HDR mode, we've got a flash timer. What is that? Oh, okay, this is autofocus, and so active photos on. And then the phone is on auto, or you can put it on manual if you want. So what I'll do is I'll just flip the camera around really quickly. This is me here, and I'll just take a quick Little selfie here. Really good looking shot there. Not me, but the photo. So we'll just go ahead and take a peek at that real quick. Okay, I mean, it's a good looking photo. All right, then I'll just go ahead and get out of that and take a quick picture, swing the camera back around, take a picture of that nice red and black box there. Okay, you can see very quick shutter. All right, so you can see that. Excellent looking detail. Good true to life looking color. I mean, that looks exactly like the box. I mean, it doesn't look to be overexposed in any way, shape, or form. As you can see here, after you take the photo, I mean, you do have some things that you can customize. And so obviously you hit that if you want to share the picture. Oops, don't want to do that. Okay, these are some filters if you want to tweak the way the photo looks. And you've got a bunch of different filters and things that you can change right there. Then this is the information regarding the photo, and then if you want to trash the photo, then you just hit the little trash can there. So as far as performance, really quickly, let's just go into the Google Suite and open up Google Now. All right, and I have a lot of useful information in Google Now, and so I'm just going to be opening up some things just to see how quickly we respond here. So you see, it just pops right into Gmail. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and pop in the maps. Okay. Saw that open up pretty swiftly. YouTube. Oh man, I forgot my team played rematch of the Super Bowl. Yeah, I gotta watch those highlights because I missed that preseason game earlier. Yeah. Okay. My man Jay Will got a new video posted up. HTC U12, a great phone that gets overlooked. Look at me. Okay, I see you, Jay. I'm gonna check you out. All right. Let's go into Google Drive. Just pops right into that. Okay. Play music. Okay. Skip that. Pops right into play music. Play movies. Okay. Just goes right into that, no problem. Google Docs. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I expect for this phone to be a very solid performer. I mean, the fact that it's got the Snapdragon 835 processor in it, to me, means absolutely nothing. People make it seem like it's just because it's got the older processor in it that it's just going to be just as slow as dirt and it's not going to perform well. Let's check that RAM management so you can see things just buttery smooth. Okay, just pop right back into apps. Okay, didn't need to reload. Google Play Music. Okay, that's a pretty big file, and so I understand it had to reload that real quick. Gmail just pops right back into that. YouTube. Okay, had to reload YouTube, but that didn't take that long. Okay, settings. I mean, you guys get the point, man. I mean, so, ladies and gentlemen, this is all that I've got currently for the new Moto Z3, newly released today, August 16th, 2018. Again, this is a Verizon exclusive, so if you want this device, you're going to have to pick it up down at your local Verizon store, or you can order it on Verizon.com, their website. I will definitely drop links in the description if this is something that you want to take advantage of. If you're a Verizon customer, or if this phone has intrigued you enough to make the switch, then there is a $300 perk right now. If you switch from a carrier over to Verizon and you want this phone, depending on the device that you have to trade in, you can get potentially $300 off of this device. And that would be a great deal in itself because this phone is regularly priced at $480. I mean, so getting $300 off, you're only paying $180 for the phone, and for everything that this phone is offering, these specs, these cameras, performance, all that kind of thing, for $180. Yeah, that sounds like a win to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for the new Moto Z3. All right. Oh, real quick, let's test that. Oh, and that's another thing that I forgot about. When you pick up the device, your clock turns on. If you got notifications that pop up on the screen, or if you just, okay, let's turn off the screen. If you just wave your hand over it, okay, well, that's a feature that I have to turn on. So it's set now to where when you pick up the device, then it will show you the time. And if you've got notifications, then it pops up on the screen, and you'll have the ability to look at those notifications from the lock screen. And so that's pretty slick. Now, I wanted to display or demonstrate this fingerprint sensor. Okay, so, okay, nice and quick. So I'll go ahead and lock the device again. Okay, barely tap it. There it is again. Okay, one more time, barely touching it. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's going to take some getting used to because the sensor, it's kind of long, and so those times when I was pressing it and it didn't open, I was only pressing the bottom of the sensor. So your thumb has to touch the whole sensor. But nonetheless, when you do that, you just barely tap it and it just opens right up. So we've got our nice fast fingerprint side sensor. I'm a fan of that. I'm a big fan of that. I know that that was on the Nextbit Robin, and I know that that's also on the Razer phone because I know that Razer bought out the Nextbit Robin, and there's a lot of similarities there, that the Razer phone has that were implemented on the Nextbit Robin, and one of the features that is on there is that side-mounted fingerprint sensor, and the Robin was kind of sketchy. Okay, I hope that the Razor is much better, but the Robin was kind of sketchy. Sometimes it was hit or miss. It worked. Sometimes other times it didn't. But this, it doesn't appear as though there's going to be a problem with that at all whatsoever. Now, another thing that I wanted to demonstrate was the gestures, and I know that I was looking for the gestures in basically the wrong place. And so, if you go into settings, and let's see, I know that there was a gestures spot here in the settings, but whatever. We'll get out of that. Um, Basically, what you want to do is you want to go to the Moto app, okay? And then when you get into the Moto app, then you see you've got suggestions and you've got features. And so suggestions, the device is just going to make some suggestions as to how to, obtain, more storage or how to maintain your battery, as you can see right here. So plenty of storage, no suggestions at the time. Estimated battery life, 3 hours left, power for hours, conserve power. So there's like some little cards that will provide you with information on how to, free up space if that's what you need to do, or how to conserve battery life if that's what you want to do. Now, if you click on features right there, then you see we've got Moto Actions, Moto Display, and Moto Voice Beta. And so I'll just click the little arrow down to access all of those things. And here are all the Moto Actions that are on the device. And so you've got lift to unlock. Okay, and that's basically just facial recognition, which we do also have on this particular device, and I'll display that shortly. But we've got media controls, and so like while the phone is asleep, you still can go to the next or previous track when the screen is off, press and hold the volume up or down button. And you can see it says learn more after each one of them. There's a tutorial for each one of them to show you exactly how to do the action. Okay, screenshot editor. Okay, 3-finger screenshot. One button navigation, which is what I'm rocking right there. So that little line right there, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that shortly in a minute. But one button navigation. Chop twice for flashlight, okay? Twist for quick capture. Swipe to shrink screen, so that's our one-handed mode. Pick up to stop ringing, so if the phone is ringing and you want it to stop, you just simply pick up the phone. Flip for do not disturb, so if the phone is ringing and you just don't want to be bothered at the moment, you just pick the phone up and just set it on its face, and it's going to stop the device from ringing, okay? Now, when you go into Moto Display, okay, so I'll click the little arrow down just to access the Moto displays. Okay, so you've got night display, which your screen automatically adjusts to warmer tones to prepare your eyes for sleep. You've got attentive display, keep the screen on while you're looking at it, and so I actually want to keep that on. Allow Moto Actions to take pictures and record video. Sure, why not? All right. And then you've got Moto Display friendly notifications fade in and out while the screen is off. And I have that enabled. Okay. Now for Moto Voice Beta, give a command and your phone responds. Great for hands-free use. And so that's what that is. So those are the Moto gestures right there. Now, if you want to access your one-handed mode, if you want the small screen to be on the left, you just simply swipe from the middle of the device down to the left. And there's your one-handed mode on the left side. Okay. And then you just touch the little dark area around the device to get it back to the full 18:9 aspect ratio. Now, if you want the one-handed mode to be on the right side, then you just simply swipe down to the right corner of the device. And here's your one-handed mode for that. Okay. Now, here are your gesture controls. So like this little line right here, if you want to access your recents, you just swipe to the right really quickly. And here's all the applications that you've had open. Okay. If you want to go back home, you just tap on it. If you want to go back, then let's see, let's go into Google. Okay. If you want to go back, then you just simply slide it to the left, and that's how you go back. Now, if you want to access your Google Assistant, just as you would the back button, you just simply hold down on it, and that gets you to your assistant. And of course, I don't want anything at the moment. I just want to go back to my home screen. So in order to do that, I just simply just tap on it, and it just goes right back to the home screen. So that's basically how the touch gestures work, or utilizing the gestures to be able to navigate your device. I'm a huge fan of that because you can see that it kind of gives you the ability to take a little bit more advantage of the 18:9 aspect ratio, which looks very clean and crisp on this particular device. Now, really quickly, I want to display the facial recognition. And so I will go ahead and lock the device. And it's just one of those things where when you pick up the device, okay, swipe up, just like that. It's very fast. It just opens right up, okay? So I'll hold the device up, and I'm just going to hit the lock screen. As you can see the little unlock, it just unlocked right there. So all I have to do is just simply swipe up, and the phone is unlocked. I'll see if I can get a little closer so you guys can see that. Okay, so here we go. Boom. Well, that was facial recognition right there. So the facial recognition it's very fast. I mean, it doesn't take long to open the device at all. Let's go ahead and try that one last time. And you see that as soon as it recognizes me, it just opens right up. So that's another thing that I just wanted to display for you guys. I wanted to show you guys the little gestures, show you guys how responsive the Face ID is. And there you have it. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, you already know, smash that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. And definitely stay tuned because I've got so much more content to come. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be the first to view my content every time I upload something. You don't want to miss out because I've got a lot in store. All right. So you guys already know. Until the next video, thank you guys all for tuning in. Much love to all of my subscribers. Those of you that have been rocking with me for a while, you know, my lifers, much appreciated. Anybody that's new, I've noticed that I have been getting some new subscribers lately, so much love. I appreciate the subscription, and I hope to continue to get my hands on these devices to give you guys as much information as possible on these phones to help you make an informed decision on what your next smartphone purchase may be. That's what I do this all for. Okay, so I'm your man Pristine, bringing the content. This is the brand new Moto Z3. Definitely stay tuned for the dedicated camera video, and that's going to be followed by the full Pristine review. Give me some time to play with this phone, give it some real world usage, some real world testing, and I'll have that content up for you guys in not too long. Alright, so until then, you already know, man, keep it safe. Definitely get spiritually fit. We're definitely living in the last days. God is always ready to start over. I'm not trying to preach or get religious here, but I'm just telling you. You know, get Christ in your life if you don't have him already, and keep it pristine in everything that you do. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.